What is up, YouTube? Iniquity. We're back with another round of 3 interesting decks coming out of last weekend, actually, that I wanted to cover. So first up, it's going to be Kevin Ogelmann's top 32 German national Spyral deck. Now, the first thing I want to say about this deck, we give this deck a lot of shit every format. We're like, oh, Spirals are dead again, and then it kind of comes back out of the woodwork, and everybody's like, where the fuck did that come from? So, well, here we are yet again, playing Danger combined with Spyral. Now, I know a lot of people are kind of just beyond this concept at this point, and they're like, why are we still trying to play Spyral in the year 2019? Well, your ceiling is still absolutely high. Basically, 2 monsters wins you the game. Sleepy Boy is one of the best cards for interruption in the game at this point. So, to really say that this deck is dead doesn't really make a lot of sense, but in all honesty, the deck is still able to literally do everything that it's wanted to do, plus still combo off and still continue to make boards that are pretty intimidating to the average player. So I think underestimating that this deck still can do something, even in the year 2019, is a bit absurd. Don't get me wrong, but Spyral shenanigans are still always going to be workable, even in like the tier 2 category. So 1 copy of Zephyros, bouncing back any sort of card that we need to be able to revive and combo extend even further. Fantastic. 1 copy of Bigfoot, general discard disruption, draw a card, pop something. Actually really good for going second. 2 copies of Mothman. Obviously the lamp is really scary this time of year, but just additional stick a monster on the board, additional draw power, discard. Get rid of these shit cards when they start floating into our hand. Then we have triple copies of Nessie, still probably the best danger card in the entire deck. Getting that discard search is all that we need in life. Triple copies of Jackalope, same thing, just being able to stick a monster on the field and be able to start linking out is literally all this deck wants. And then, of course, the best danger monster that will always stick, no matter what actually happens in your combo, is triple copies of Tsuchinoko. No matter what, we're getting this guy out. That's all that matters. Then we have 1 copy of Yield Dart Grapher, basically being able to drop the Destrudo or this guy out of our hand if we hard draw it. It's definitely pretty good. Speaking of hard drawing, our boy Destrudo, basically just being able to get 2 monsters on the field and go. 1 copy of the Orcus Nightmare, pretty standard, honestly. It's not Italy, or yeah, anymore. Just pretty interesting. Then we play the Spyral cards, 1 Drone, 1 copy of Last Resort, 1 Master Plan, 1 Quick Fix, 1 Sleepy Boy, and 2 copies of Super Agent. Spells, just triple Called by the Grave, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 for 1, 1 Rhoda, 1 Big Red, 1 copy of the Assault, 1 copy of the Resort, 2 Terraforming, and 2 Twin Twister in our traps. Triple copies of Revive from the Graveyard, because for some reason being able to recur all of these in 1 turn is still perfectly fair. The extra deck here, we have 1 copy of Trigate Wizard, being able to set up the soft lock on the opponent. Actually still pretty good with this. Even if it's 1 negate, it's still pretty good. 2 copies of Spyral Double Helix. I'm intrigued to see that we are playing 2 of these. Not exactly sure why this is coming up, but it is. 1 copy of Saruja, 1 Proxy Dragon, 1 Link Karibo, 1 Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, 1 Mermaid, 1 copy of Griffin, 1 copy of Cerberus, 1 Curious, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Borlode, and 1 copy of Dracosac, actually. Side deck here we have triple Lancia, 2 copies of Pringatops, 2 Ghost Bell, 2 Tough, 2 Cosmic Cyclone, triple Infinite Imperm, and 1 copy of Summon Limit, wrapping this up. But to see this deck even get top 32 at this current stage in the format definitely goes to prove that, 1, the format's not as shit as we had originally thought it was. Number 2, Spirals are still a deck, even in the year 2019. We just have to adjust combo ability slightly in today's metagame, and we can get to places. Like I said before we started this, Sleepy Boy plus Assault, beautiful, beautiful bullshit that you're actually able to resolve and just take full advantage of drawing and everything. But this is combo decks in the year 2019, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin definitely knew what he was doing when he decided to play this. So, first time we've seen Spyral in a couple weeks, but it's pretty nice nonetheless. Next up, we are back with Johannes Urbich's Pendulum Magician deck. Now, this deck is actually playing Dragon Color Magician. I've been a little bit up in the air about this for this whole format. I'm not a super big fan of this. I get why players like trying to play Dragon Color in this deck. I don't know, it's 50-50 for what you're trying to do. I get it, I do, but it's not for me as a Pendulum player. So you do get your ability to adjust and do things like that, but it's kind of up in the air. So we play the one copy of the Amorphage Sloth. Once again, stick this on the board and watch your opponent struggle. Like, enjoy not being able to special summon. Pretty fucking free, actually. We have the one copy of the Black Fang Magician, triple copies of Chronograph Sorcerer, one copy of Dragon Caller. Then we have triple copies of Harmonizing Magician, still one of the best cards this deck has to offer. One Luster Pendulum. If we hard draw it, we don't really care, because we're able to Pendulum summon out all of these and just not give a fuck. As many onboard negates as we can actually have as possible is really good, especially since it's not limited to once per turn. Then we have one copy of Mystical Beast Garuda, one copy of Jackal King, triple copies of Master Cerberus, one copy of the Oath Dragon, one copy of the Purple Poison Man. Then we have the triple Dark Worm, 2-gate 0. I don't know, what is it between ratios with this card? Why do people like one of this and then two of it? Obviously, you never play three of it, but I always found that interesting for the argument for this. Then we have one copy of the Time Gazer Magician, triple copies of Wisdom Eye, one copy of Dragon Pit, one copy of Master Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. Spells, we have two Dragon Shrine, one copy of Foolish Braille, triple copies of Pendulum Call, and triple copies of Pot of Desires, wrapping up the main deck. Pretty interesting to see the Master Pendulum in this deck, especially in this day and age, honestly, but interesting tech choices. The extra deck down here, one copy of Triple Burst Dragon, one copy of the Nightmare Phoenix, one copy of the Heradic Heavenly Spheres, one Electromite, one Pisty, one Elpay, one Bring the Pain Dragon, one copy of the Boral Sword, one copy of the Boral Load, one copy of Just Beat It. Honestly, B-Cop just gets a lot of shit. The fact that it's so generic, though, is actually why we actually play this card. One copy of the Time Star Magician. I think this is the first time we've seen this card back in this deck, all format, but it's still pretty much ticking and is still able to do everything that she wants to do, being a combo extender for this deck. Then we have one copy of the Abyss Dweller. Then we have one Ignister, one copy of Borreload Savage, and one Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. Sticking this off of the Agripane is still so cute. Side deck here we have triple Lancia, triple Denko Sekka, triple No Material, triple Evenly Matched, and triple Red Reboot, wrapping up Johannes's top 32 Pendulum Magician list. But nonetheless, though, pretty interesting seeing Pendulum Magician, the evolution that this deck is taking at this point. More towards Dragon Caller being another level 7 that you can kind of cheese off with. The inclusion of the Master Pendulum with more diversity. Like I said, it's the little tech choices that make all the difference in today's current format. And once again, I think Johannes kind of saw that in the opportunity that he was going for with this deck. Especially even the Time Star Magician in the extra deck. Seeing that definitely changes my mind on a couple of perspectives here. Then the last deck we have today is a top 16 Praying Kids deck list coming out of the Portland, Oregon regional. Now, the first thing I want to say here, we don't have a side deck for this. It was never shared. So, just kind of understand that we're still Praying Kids. We still do the same thing that we've always kind of done, which is do a lot of combo plays, think we're Ritual Beast, and put monsters on the board. Simple enough? So we play two copies of Planet Pathfinder. Tribute this card, grab our field spell, which is everything that we want in life, right? Our Searcher. And we play triple copies of Praying Kids Dropsies, triple copies of Praying Kid Fansies, triple copies of Praying Kid Lampsies, and triple copies of Roxy's. Then we play triple Gamma, one copy of Driver, standard negations. I don't want to lose to bullshit. Obviously, sticking two more monsters on the board is actually really good in this deck. Then we play one copy of Fusion Recycling Plant, triple Instant Fusion, two copies of Invocation, triple Polymerization, two copies of Praying Kids Pandemonium, two copies of our Field Spell, triple copies of Pranks, one copy Set Rotation, two copies of Terraforming, one Upstart Goblin, and two copies of the Praying Kids Plan. Extra deck down here, we have one Praying Kids Rip and Roll and Roaster, two copies of Doo Doo Doodle Doo, two copies of the Bow Wow Bark, one Phoenix, one Boral Sword, one Totally Awesome, one Dweller, one copy of the Omega, two copies of the Weather Washer, two copies of Rocket Ride, and one copy of Batlin Butler, wrapping up the Portland, Oregon list. Congratulations to all three of you for doing well this weekend. I like to see the diversity that we're kind of seeing in the format right now. People are challenging the authority of the metagame. We're trying to break the big four right now, and we're seeing pretty good results. So what do you guys think? Please, comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about these deck lists. And, well, guys, I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vancol40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.